Hello, this is the Morbus 1.5.7 kind of preview about what's going to be going on in the next update of Morbus and what to expect. I decided to make this video since I get a lot of people asking me, and I figure people will enjoy this much more than just reading something on my website. Along with explaining a lot of the new features and changes, I'm going to also explain why I decided to do them and why I think they'll improve the Morbus experience and make the game more enjoyable and more fun for people to play. First off is stealth infections. The whole concept of stealth infections is to give brood aliens like a free infection that they can turn someone else as a brood alien, and there's going to be no indication to humans that this has happened. Completely stealth. They can do it from human form also. This is a very low risk procedure, and it will give a brood alien, like if they're having a really tough time, it will give them a free infection and hopefully turn the game around. This may be useful early game for brood aliens who have trouble getting that first infection, or late game when there's a whole bunch of humans grouped up together camping somewhere, and you just want to, turn one of them and kind of shift the odds. This is going to be heavily tested. It may not make it to the final release, but this is something I'm definitely going to try out and at the very, very least have as a server option for server owners to enable or disable. One of my favorite features in Morbus is the whole dead body thing, where you can see the dead body of someone who's been transformed into a brood alien, and you can kind of mark them as an alien, and it helps you track, like, oh, this guy's an alien, that guy's a human. However, there's something that's a little bit odd about that, is where those dead bodies are there forever and you cannot do anything about it. So I wanted to add dead body dismemberment, and I'm going to do this for swarm aliens. So essentially swarm aliens are going to be able to go up to dead human bodies and rip them apart, regenerate HP, but also destroy the evidence. This is going to give swarm aliens a little bit more utility and something else to do to help out the brood aliens, also give them a chance to regenerate HP, and if you have a swarm alien who's working with a brood alien, hide the evidence of a brood alien's infection. On a related note, I don't know if this is actually going to get in, but I was thinking that perhaps I'm going to modify the way dead bodies work, and dead bodies will not show the name instantly when you walk up to them. You have to hold down E on them for a duration of time, which is when you're trying to identify the body. And normal bodies will have a 75% identification chance. Aliens can dismember or try to destroy the evidence, which will lower the chance of identification by 50 seconds or so. And you have to identify the body takes like 5 seconds, and it will notify everyone around you of the identity. This will make identification a little bit more of a time-consuming process, so you can't necessarily do it on the run, but it also keeps the core of the essence, or the core of the mechanics, still in there. Next is reinfection. Reinfection is a concept where if all the brood aliens die within like the first half of the round, and 60% of the players are still humans and alive, then it's going to choose a new human player to become the brood alien. I think this is going to change a lot, specifically the average round time and the percentage of the time that aliens win. In regards to round time, I'm hoping it's going to increase the average round time from where it is right now of that like 230 seconds, according to my website, up to 7 minutes. There's a lot of problems in Morbus right now where you'll spend the entire round walking around and you won't see anything, you won't see any aliens, and then it will end because, somewhere far off the alien screwed up and they got killed or something. I want that to stop happening. I want everyone to have, a fun and exciting experience every round they play. And I think by adding reinfection, I can extend the round time, have more happen in the rounds, and give humans or give players a more desirable experience. In regards to how often aliens win, currently, according to my website, they only win around 33% of the time. And this is too little. I want aliens to be winning around 2/3 of the time. And this is what Morbus was designed and intended to have happen. However, a lot of things have changed since when Morbus was first worked on. Early on, Morbus, it was extremely hard for humans to win. Aliens would win almost all the time. It was like 80% of the time aliens would win. And I wanted to scale that back and, give humans a fighting chance. Something that really contributed to this was weapons. In the early days of Morbus, weapons were very difficult to use in the sense that they had high recoil and low accuracy. You were literally forced to stop moving and iron sight your gun to accurately hit targets. Some guns you almost had to crouch to accurately hit them, or you pretty much had to crouch in iron sight to hit things. Moving and firing, good luck hitting anything. That was just spray and pray. Since then, things have changed a lot. I recoded the entire weapon base. There's a lot less recoil, guns are more accurate, and a lot of them do more damage. This was because players kept on complaining about it was too hard to hit things, the hitboxes were bad, or something like that. And so I eventually caved and I made humans' lives a little bit easier. And however, I made those changes, or I made it a little bit too easy. And so I'm going to have to, backpedal a little bit, make things a little bit harder, and also give aliens, or implement a few new mechanics to make aliens have a higher chance of winning and just stronger in all regards. While this may be one of the smallest changes, code-wise in Morbus in this patch, it's going to have one of the largest impacts that any change has pretty much made in all of Morbus's history, except for maybe like Swarm Alien Respawn. And I'm really hoping that this is going to have a big impact on how often aliens are winning, how long rounds are lasting, and just make Morbus a more enjoyable and fun to play game. So historically, a lot of Morbus maps have been made kind of in-house by people who have been involved somehow in the development process of Morbus, such as myself making maps, a guy named Demon Kush, Sonoran Warrior. There's been a few other people who have also contributed maps, including like Weird Snake or Neko Baron. However, there's not really a lot of incentive for people to make maps, and sometimes people don't know how to make maps for Morbus. So I've taken steps of putting resources on my website to help mappers create maps for Morbus. I'm going to upload a tutorial on how to use the weapon arming tool to get weapons and spawn points in the need locations in Morbus, as well as giving mappers some sort of recognition for people who have made maps for Morbus. Right now, there's maybe, I think, 12 to 14 Morbus maps in total. Not all of them are public release in the map packs, but I'm hoping to get this number up there and get a lot of new Morbus maps out there. So as far as mapper recognition goes, I'm hoping to give anyone who has a map pack, or anyone who's making a map, which gets it into the public map pack, I'm going to give them a color name on the scoreboard, a little tag next to their name that says like map maker, and put their map on my website, give them credits. I really would like to get a lot of people out there making maps, because I feel that Morbus really is, if it's lacking anything, it's lacking unique and fun maps. And so hell, if you want to come make maps and you're really excited and interested about it, hit me an email, leave a comment or something, and I will get back to you about that. Temporary sanity has been something that I have been kicking around for a very long time now, probably a year, but I keep on delaying implementing it because it serves less as a gameplay mechanic, which actually affects how people really play, as more of a immersion mechanic, which kind of makes the game more immersive and atmospheric and really brings people to the world of Morbus, if you want to call it that. And the idea of temporary sanity is to simulate your character's mental state in this situation. I assume that most people are not going to be able to handle like an alien invasion / infection kind of thing sanely, or at least with the best mental state of mind, or healthy state of mind. And so I want to implement kind of a thing where if you start seeing if you see dead bodies, if you see aliens transform, you see people getting killed, then it's going to have a toll on your mental state. And in turn, your player's mental health will temporarily degrade. I mean, the idea is that you're going to get a little bit paranoid. You're going to get very, very scared, very terrified of your situation that you're in. And to the point that, maybe you'll start hallucinating, maybe you'll start thinking you're hearing things. And it's actually going to start affecting your player. You're going to maybe your vision is going to kind of morph a little bit, or you're going to get darker around the edges. You're going to start thinking you hear aliens when really it was just not really an alien. At the very worst, you get paralyzed in fear. I don't want to start, making it seem like your player has schizophrenia or something, but I would like to implement some sort of mechanic which kind of immerses you in the fact that you're probably insane. Something that I kind of took as motivation or inspiration for this is, you know, how in the Dead Space series, you play as Isaac Clarke, who's an engineer or spaceship engineer, and you're going and you're fighting through monsters, and there's these black marker things, and the markers make people insane. And I kind of liked how, like in Dead Space 2, is all about, you know, you are insane pretty much. Your guy is insane, and you're fighting through all these monsters, this terrible situation. You have hallucinations and all these things, and I thought that was really cool, you know, playing with mental sanity and stuff. And so I wanted to kind of implement a similar thing in the sense that normal human beings aren't going to be able to go through a scenario like Morbus and be a-okay. They're going to be freaking out. They're going to be having not a fun time. So that's what I kind of wanted to bring in. I've been delaying implementing this though because of a number of reasons. One big thing is I'm not a psychologist. I don't fully understand these things. I don't know about all the mental health states, what happens to people under stress. I can do some research, but you know, that's not going to make me an expert on the field, and I don't want to implement something in Morbus that is not humanly possible or doesn't really make any sense. Furthermore, it's also, like I said earlier, it's not really a gameplay mechanic so much as an immersion mechanic kind of thing. And so I don't know how players will necessarily react to this. And a lot of people might come into Morbus for the shooter experience, and if they're not really interested in this, then they are not. I don't want to implement this and have it disableable, or have it something that you can disable. So if I implement anything in Morbus, I want it to be something that all players are going to experience. And maybe this is what I need to do, but it still needs some thought before I actually implement it. So this may or may not make it into the next version of Morbus, but it's something that at least the backbones and the back-end system of it will be in. It might not be there for the end user, however. So something that I've had plans for quite a while is unlockable or randomly selected human classes for human characters. The human classes will serve as a way of giving humans a little perks or things that make them better in some regards. There's going to be 3 classes, and it's going to help humans kind of identify themselves as this is what I'm good at, this is what I'm not bad at, and it'll help them kind of with the kind of role-playing sense of it, like I am a medic, I can heal people better, or I'm a security guard, and also gives them, you know, an advantage and something to work for if I make it unlockable. First class we're going to be looking at is the medic, which the medic is going to start with a med kit. It's also going to have whenever they use med kits, they're more effective, so they're going to heal 3 times more. And also, cool thing is that medics are going to regenerate HP passively as long as they don't have a mission or need and they're not actively in combat. I'm hoping medics are going to kind of serve as that support kind of role, and they may actually lose that passive regeneration and instead get something called a DNA scanner or a DNA benchmarker. And the DNA benchmarker is going to work in the sense where you can test the DNA of someone and it will like store a benchmark of them. And at a later point in time, you can test their DNA again and see if there's been a change in it. For example, if they get infected, then their DNA is changed. And so if I test Bob Smith's DNA right now, and then 10 minutes later I see him wandering around, I test it again and it's changed, he's probably an alien, so I should better kill him. So that's going to be the point of it. The exact fine points of that mechanic I'm still working out, and whether it's going to be too overpowered or not, still figuring that out, because if everyone's a medic, that's not going to be good. So I have to do some balancing and weighing the pros and cons of this, and probably some discussion with the community to figure out what they want. Next up is the security guard. The security guard is going to take reduced damage from all sources, which is going to make them a lot more durable against brood aliens and swarm aliens. I don't know if this benefit is actually going to transfer over to aliens, if like a security guard is an alien. I'm going to have to think about that, because that would be interesting, kind of. Furthermore, weapons which use bullets, not energy weapons, are going to be slightly more accurate, deal more damage, and have less recoil. This is going to make them more of the weapons guy. You're going to want to give him that light machine gun. He's going to be able to use it a lot better, and weapons are just going to do more damage, get more bang for the buck when in the hands of the security guard. They're also going to have a higher base movement speed, and the weapons are going to slow them down less compared to other classes. So this is the kind of the faster moving, harder punching class, which is going to be cool for a lot of players. Next is the Technician. The Technician is kind of that utility class in which their flashlight battery is never going to drain. It's going to be unlimited, and they're also going to be boosting the recharge speed of all nearby players' flashlights by 50%, and they do extra damage with energy weapons compared to how the security guard did extra damage with bullet weapons. I also might be making some special brushes or buttons which only technicians can use. So certain maps can implement things or passageways or doors which only technicians can open, which will kind of serve as more of a utility. Like there might be a secret weapon cache which can only be opened by a technician, or maybe a secret passageway can only be opened by them. And this is going to give them a little bit more utility and make them more of an interesting class in the bigger scope of things. Still working out the finer mechanics on this, but it's going to be something similar to what you see right now. Something that I've actually had a number of people asking about is scoring. Currently in Morbus, there is no scorekeeping. It doesn't matter how many people you kill or how many aliens you kill, your score is always going to be 0. So there's not really a way of saying I'm better than you, ha ha ha. So that's going to be changing. Points are going to be started being awarded for doing your job as killing. If you're an alien, killing humans or infecting humans. If you're a human, then killing aliens. Also, points are going to be deducted for RDMing, because RDMing is bad. Don't do it, kid. There's also going to be a whole bunch of miscellaneous changes, which I'm making, things that don't really deserve a big talking point, but still worth noting. These are going to be things that you're probably going to just need to read in the patch notes, or I'm posting on a website. This is a kind of a list of a few I have right now, which is like the alien vision ripple. A lot of people don't like it, and I turn it off. So I'm going to have it disabled by default, and if people really want the game to be immersive, or if they're making a video or something, then they can enable it themselves. Also, swarm aliens getting an extra life every like 20 seconds. That actually, I think that's already in the game, but I don't know if it works. So that's going to be fixed if it doesn't work. Also, possibly an alien upgrade system rework. This is a miscellaneous change because it's, who knows, I don't know if I'm actually going to do it. I've been saying I'm going to do it for a while, but I don't know of a cool and interesting way of doing it other than the way I kind of do it right now. Also, the new Swarm Alien models. Currently, Swarm Alien is Enhanced Slicer from Dead Space. That's actually the model we use. Thank you, EA. We're going to be using a new model, which is not going to be, it's just still going to be a slicer, but not an enhanced version from Dead Space. Unfortunately, Morbus is a non-profit kind of game, as in we make no money, we get no money, it's a mod. So we have to borrow models from elsewhere because we can't make them ourselves because, well, we have jobs. And also new round music, the background music, which Sonoran, a guy named Sonoran Warrior, very graciously gave me to use, or he collected and put them together. He's going to get me a big batch of new music. It's going to be really, really cool. I'm excited for it. There's also going to be, there's a slight bug where spectators can sometimes talk with swarm aliens. That's going to be fixed for obvious reasons. Also, sanity is also possibly going to start affecting your aim, as in your accuracy. The shotgun is going to get nerfed because that thing is too overpowered. Big thing also is the medkits. They're no longer going to be healing 150 HP. They're only going to be healing maybe 50 to 100. So it's because medkits are a little bit too powerful. And yeah. Also, maps. We do have a few new maps in the pipeline, which are most likely going to be out by the finalized release. Also, there's a few things which I didn't list, but just now remembering, such as like brood aliens are getting a 15% damage reduction when they're in alien form. That's a passive thing. Also, all recoil has been increased by 30%, and a number of other little changes to kind of balance out and hammer out some things. I'm going to document all of them, I promise. I'm also going to start revealing some hidden mechanics and hidden things inside of Morbus, which aren't publicly ever said. They're not in any guide. You just kind of have to talk to someone who's either told about them or me myself, because there's a lot of things hidden in Morbus which kind of enhance the gameplay, and I've kind of left in there for people to figure out and explore and experiment. And, they'll notice that some strategies work better than others, and there's probably a reason for that. So I'm going to be, putting some things out there to show, here are some cool things hidden in Morbus that you might have probably didn't know about, and now you can use them to your advantage. So hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, comments, any suggestions for the next Morbus patch, feel free to send me a message on Twitter or an email, or even leave a comment here, and I'll probably get around to reading it. And thank you for everyone who has played Morbus and who has continued to support the development of it, whether it's just playing the game, liking videos, making videos, whatever it is. I've been blown away by the amount of popularity Morbus has received, and all the people who have come to me and told me how much they like playing it. That's why I make Morbus. That's why I continue developing on it. I wish I had more time for you guys. I wish I could make more changes, make the game the best experience ever. But unfortunately, I have college and a lot of things in my life which prevent me from that. But I'm still happy that I can get around to making a few updates every few months or so when I get a break in my life. So have a great day, and I'll see you guys in game.